Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're okay. I hope that you're being safe at home and that you're being all the cautious that you can. Um, I hope that you have finished with your questions. Some people ask me, Mister, how many questions are there? Well, it depends on how many have you listened. This assignment is going to test your listening skills. And if you have struggled with that, there's a CC button in the corner of the screen that says CC. It's closed caption. Those are the subtitles. So if you really struggle listening to what I have to say, well, there's a CC section in there, and you can click on it and it's subtitles so you can see everything that I'm saying so you don't have problems. um, I'm glad to see that you have been following instructions. Most of you are, and that you haven't been uploading things to the platform when I don't ask for it. Please don't upload anything to the platform when I don't ask for it. Wait for me to tell you when. At the end of the quarter, I will give you an assignment in the platform that you have to go and do. Based on the reading that we will do, there will be no questions on this matter. And for all the ones that are not following instructions and that are sending me homeworks in WhatsApp or in the wall or still struggling with understanding my instructions, then you're losing points. I'm sorry. Um, for all the ones that have asked me about the homework, that is not a lot. Well, I have a lot to check, so I'm trying to be fair and checking everybody's with time. So give me a while. But for all the ones that haven't sent it, that means you still have time, because at the end of the week or eventually beginning of next week, I'm gonna post a list of all the people that owes homeworks or the people that already gave the homework. And if you haven't, you can do it again, or you can do it on time, but you're not gonna have the same points. So I hope you're doing your homeworks. Today we will start reading a little of Harry Potter. We finish with the story on the reading path. I hope that you answered all the questions, and if you didn't, you still have time. On Tuesday, oh, sorry, Wednesday. I expect those homeworks uploaded on Wednesday so we can have a little of less work to do with the story. Remember that the story assesses how well can you listen and how much do you understand and everything. So I hope that you are working along that. Um, if you don't have a problem, I'm going to be live later on the day because some of you said that there's not enough time. So I will be live probably 3 p.m. Tuesday, answering or discussing with you some of the questions of the story, so we can see each other a little on Tuesday. And I know that some of you always go to my live performances, and I'm really happy for it. And if you haven't, you should go. And but don't ask me, Mr. Number what? Not everybody has the same number, not everybody has the same questions, not everybody has the same answers. So you are going to, if you really have a question, you're going to have to post it in there, write the question that you want to know, and then I can talk about it, because not everybody copied the same. So don't tell me, Mr. Question number one, number two, I don't know. I mean, I know my numbers, but I don't know your numbers. So if you have questions, I'll see you on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Um, and actually I have to write it so I remember it. So I can remember that I will see you on Tuesday at 3 p.m. and so I can help you with some of those questions. But remember, um, remember that not everybody has the same question, so please make sure that you write what your question is specifically. Like, Mr. I wrote the question, where is this and this and this? Can you help me with that? And I can help you with that. But don't write numbers because I will not know. Okay, so so far in Harry Potter, we have advanced some, and I know that some of you have advanced a little more than the others, and some of you haven't. And I know that some of you have already finished the book, and that's amazing. So today we will continue with the Harry Potter book. So if you don't have it, pause the video and go get it. And today we will continue on on chapter 11. We are going to reread 11 just as a review, and then we will continue on. So I hope you're ready. Get your book and get a highlighter if you have to. It's not mandatory if you're not highlighting the important information, but maybe it will help you to remember what are we reading. So in my little computer, I will go to the book because I don't have it on. Oh wait. Year two, year one. I do have it. I don't have to read from the computer. So let's see, chapter 11. Uh-huh. Wait, 5. Oh, we have advanced some, haven't we? Soaring Hat. 7. Then Halloween, yeah, when you found it. Uh-huh. 11, okay. So we are going to start with chapter 11 again, so we can do some review on the story. And then pay attention, read along with me. What you're supposed to be doing is put on earphones and then read aloud what I'm saying the first couple times, or just hear it the first time and then read it aloud with me. So please follow instructions, and I hope you're ready. Okay, Quidditch, chapter 11. As they entered November, the weather turned very cold. The mountains around the school became icy gray, the lake like chilled steel. Every morning the ground was covered in frost. Super cold. Hagrid could be seen from the upstairs windows, the frosting broomsticks on the Quidditch field, bundled up in a long moleskin overcoat, rabbit fur gloves, and enormous beaver skin boots. The Quidditch season had begun. On Saturday, Harry would be playing in his first match after weeks of training. Gryffindor versus Slytherin. As you can remember, Gryffindor is the house that Harry Potter got in, and sorry, I'm sweating. And Slytherin is Draco Malfoy's house. If Gryffindor won, they would move up into the second place in the house championship. Hardly anyone had seen Harry play because Wood had decided that, as their secret weapon, Harry should be kept, well, secret. But the news that he was playing Sickern had leaked out somehow, and Harry didn't know which was worse. People telling him he's brilliant, or people telling him they'd be running around underneath him holding a mattress. It was really lucky that Harry now had Hermione as a friend. He didn't know how he'd have gotten through all his homework without her. As you can remember, they were not friends at the beginning of the book because Ron made fun of her. But now they were friends after they defeated the troll. Yeah, it was really lucky that Harry now had Hermione as a friend. He didn't know how he'd have gotten through all his homework without her. What at last minute Quidditch practice Wood was making them do, she'd also lend them Quidditch through the ages, which turned out to be a very interesting read. Harry learned that there were 700 ways of committing a Quidditch foul, and that all of them had happened during a World Cup match in 1473. That Seekers were usually the smallest and fastest players and the most serious. Now, as you can remember in the movies, Harry is in a broom and he flies around trying to find the snitch that is a really small golden ball with wings. And he is a seeker. A seeker is someone who seeks, who looks for. And that most serious Quidditch accidents seemed to happen to them. That although people rarely died playing Quidditch, referees had been known to vanish and turn up months later in the Sahara Desert. Hermione had become a bit more relaxed about breaking rules, since Harry and Ron had saved her from the mountain troll, and she was much nicer for it. The day before Harry's first Quidditch match, the three of them were out in the freezing courtyard during break, and she had conjured them up a bright blue fire that could be carried around in a jam jar. Can you imagine how fun? They were cold, so she made up a spell, and in a jar, like a jelly jar, she conjured up some blue fire. She put the lid on, and it didn't burn, but it was warm enough to so they could warm their hands, because in places like England the weather is super extremely cold. It's like put your hand inside your freezer for a while. That's how cold England is. So they were freezing. People wear coats, and they wear scarves, and they wear hats, and they wear gloves because it's too cold outside. So they were carrying a blue flame around with them in a glass jar so they would be warm. They were standing with their backs to it, getting warm. When Snape crossed the yard, Harry noticed at once that Snape was limping. Limping is walking kind of weird because your leg hurts. Harry, Ron, and Hermione moved closer together to block the fire from view. They were sure it wouldn't be allowed. Unfortunately, something about their guilty faces caught Snape's eyes. He limped over. He hadn't seen the fire, but he seemed to be looking for a reason to tell them off anyway. "What's that you got there?" It was Quidditch Through Ages, Harry showed him. "Library books are not to be taken outside the school," said Snape. "Give it to me. 5 points from Gryffindor." "Oh, 5 points?" "He's just made that rule up," Harry muttered angrily as Snape limped away. "Wonder what's wrong with his leg." "Dunno, but I hope it's really hurting him," said Ron bitterly. The Gryffindor common room was very noisy that evening. Harry, Ron, and Hermione sat together next to a window. Hermione was checking Harry's and Ron's charms homework for them. She would never let them copy. "How will you learn?" "So see, don't copy homework." But by asking her to read it through, they've got the answers anyway. Harry felt restless. He wanted Quidditch Through the Ages back, to take his mind off his nerves about tomorrow. Why should he be afraid of Snape? Getting up, he told Ron and Hermione he was going to ask Snape if he could have it. "Better you than me," they said together. But Harry had an idea that Snape wouldn't refuse if there were other teachers listening. He made his way down to the staff room and knocked. In schools, usually there is a staff room. There is a room where all the teachers can hang out. They have their papers, they have documents, and people never bother them. And so they were just chilling in there. They had a fire. Sometimes they have food. It was a nice place for teachers. So he went and knocked. There was no answer. And then he knocked again. Nothing. Perhaps Snape had left the book in there. It was worth a try. He pushed the door ajar and peered inside. And a horrible scene met his eyes. Snape and Filch were inside. Remember, Filch is the man with the cat, the one that is always following Harry. Alone. Snape was holding his ruffs above his knees. One of his legs was bloody and mangled, all destroyed. Filch was handing Snape bandages. "Blasted thing!" Snape was saying. "How are you supposed to keep your eyes on all 3 heads at once?" Harry tried to shut the door quietly, but "Potter!" Snape's face was twisted with a fury, and he dropped his drops quickly to hide his legs. Harry gulped. "I just wonder if I could have my book back." "Get out! Out!" Harry left. Before Snape could take any more points from Gryffindor, he sprinted back upstairs. "Did you get it?" Ron asked as Harry joined them. "What's the matter?" In a lower whisper, Harry told them what he'd seen. "You know what this means?" he finished breathlessly. He tried to get past that three-headed dog at Halloween. That was where he was going when we saw him. So for all the ones that haven't read that part and you were supposed to, in Halloween, they think that Harry was trying, Snape was trying to get inside the three-headed dog trapdoor. As you can remember, one day when they were trying to make it to class, they were exploring the school and the stairs were moving around. So it took them to the third floor and you were not supposed to go there. And when they opened the door because they were trying to run away from Filch, the man with the cat, they entered the door and they were like, whew. But what they didn't notice is that behind them there was a ginormous, super enormous three-headed dog, a dog with three heads, and he was taking care of a trap door, a little door on the floor that you would lift and you would get inside. And they ran away because the dog tried to beat them. So now they know that Snape was inside the same room and he was actually bitten by the three-headed dog. Okay, so in a low whisper, Harry told them what he'd seen. You know what this means, he finished breathlessly. He tried to get past the three-headed dog at Halloween. That's where he was going when we saw him. He's after whatever it's guarding, and I bet my broomstick he'll let that troll in to make a diversion. Hermione's eyes were wide. No, he wouldn't, she said. I know he's not very nice, but he wouldn't try and steal something Dumbledore was keeping safe. Honestly, Hermione, you think all teachers are saints or something, snapped Ron. I'm with Harry. I wouldn't put anything past Snape, but what's he's after? What's the dog guarding? Harry went to bed with his head buzzing with the same questions. Neville was snoring loudly. But Harry couldn't sleep. He tried to empty his mind. He needed to sleep. He had to. He had his first Quidditch match in a few hours. But the expression on Snape's face when Harry had seen his leg wasn't easy to forget. The next morning dawned very bright and cold, and the great hall was full of delicious smell of fried sausages and cheering chatter of everyone looking forward to a good Quidditch match. You've got to eat some breakfast. I don't want anything. Just a bit of toast, whittled Hermione. I'm not hungry. Harry felt terrible. In an hour's time he'd be walking into the field. Harry, you need your strength, said Seamus Finnegan. Seekers are always the one who get clobbered by the other's team. Thanks, Seamus, said Harry, watching Seamus, sorry, it's a weird name, Seamus piled ketchup on his sausages. By 11 o'clock, the whole school seemed to be on the stands around the Quidditch pitch. Many students had binoculars. The seats might be raised high in the air, but it was still difficult to see what was going on sometimes. Ron and Hermione joined Neville, Seamus, and Dean on the West Ham fan up on the top row. As a surprise for Harry, they had painted a large banner of one of the sheets Scabbers had ruined. It said Potter for President, and Dean, who was good at drawing, had done a large Gryffindor lion underneath. Then Hermione had performed a tricky little charm so that the paint flashed different colors. So as you can see, they were being very kind to Harry. They were supporting him. Harry, 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 because it was his first match for Quidditch. They painted a sheet with the words Harry for President, and then they painted a lion, and Hermione made a trick into it so it shined different colors. So all of them were going to see the match of Quidditch. They were very excited. Meanwhile, in the locker room, Harry and the rest of the team were charging into their scarlet Quidditch robes. Slytherin would be playing in green. Wood cleared his throat for silence. Okay, man, he said. And woman, said Chaser Angelina Johnson. And woman, Wood agreed. This is it. The big one, said Fred Weasley. The one we've been only waiting for, said George. We know Oliver's speech by heart, Fred told Harry. We were on the team last year. Shut up, you two, said Wood. This is the best team Gryffindor had in years. We're going to win, I know it. He glared at them as if to say, or else. Right, it's time. Good luck, all of you. Harry followed Fred and George out of the locker room and, hoping his knees weren't going to give away, walked into the field to loud cheers. Hey! Madame Hooch was refereeing. She stood in the middle of the field waiting for the two teams, her broom in her hand. Now, this is what so far I will help you with. You will finish the chapter by yourself, which is basically the same pages that I have read for you ish. You will finish the chapter by yourself, and this is going to be the dynamic, because in reading it's important that you read alone, read the chapter again, even if you already read it, read it again, and remember at the end of the week you are going to have an assignment with questions about this chapter that we read for us, half together, half by yourself, chapter 21. And I hope that you are 21, right? Wait, no, 11, I'm sorry, I confused you with another grade. Chapter 11, 11, 11. So don't freak out, I said 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. So please don't tell me, Mister, you said something wrong. I said again 11. Okay, so finish reading the chapter by yourself and read it a couple times, read it out loud, and I hope that I can see you soon. See you guys.